and welcome to True Nature's video podcast. My name is Nish Masters, and over this series of interviews, I'm going to be chatting to doctors who will be sharing their stories with you and to industry professionals on all things relative to living with Romanian and foreign rescue dogs. The True Nature podcast is sponsored and hosted by The Dog's Point of View, where you can find resources and online courses all created specifically for adopters of foreign rescue dogs and for trainers and canine professionals working with foreign rescue dogs. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to our next True Nature podcast. And today I'm chatting with Karen Henley, who runs Barkology, Barkology Training and Behavioural Services in the Kidderminster area, which is West Midlands, I believe. Is that right, Karen?
It is absolutely right in the middle, sort of between Worcester and Birmingham.
Yep, cool. Thank you for taking the time to come and have a chat with me today. I'm really excited for what we are going to share with our viewers in this podcast. So just quickly, Karen, tell us a little bit about yourself and Barkology and how you came to be a trainer.
So probably like a lot of people, always liked dogs, always had dogs in my life. Nan and Grandad were always really loved dogs, and I shared my love with them and most of my family. I was a veterinary nurse when I first left school for a couple of years, and then I went off and was a human nurse for lots and lots of reasons. And then I adopted my first dog, as a Spanish rescue called Rupert, and I just found it really hard to get some sensible, practical help that didn't involve me doing things that I felt quite deeply uncomfortable with, or telling me that he was untrainable, which he isn't at all. He's very trainable. Very sadly lost my nan and granddad, both within about a month of each other. I know, and they left me some money, and at the time I was reading tons because I was desperate to try and help Rupert. Mila had come along as well, who's my little Romanian rescue, and I read one of Victoria Stilwell's books, and there was just a bit about why she became a trainer, and it was about, dog being part of the family rather than any aspiration to go to Crufts, and it's part of your world and that relationship, and it just resonated with me. And I went off with the money that my nan and granddad left and did the in-person course. It was a 6-month course. We had 2 weeks working with Victoria, people like Joe Pay, Adam Daines, and Brad and Lisa from over in the States came over, and it was just, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I also worked with a mentor for 6 months. So I went to loads of classes, followed her with her one-to-ones, and sort of stayed working to it with her for probably about 6 months afterwards. And I'm still in touch with her. And the only reason I'm not going back there is because it's an hour each way, and it was just a bit too much to carry on. But I'm still very much in touch with her and all of them. And then once I'd qualified, I started my own little training business, which is Barkology.
I love that name.
Thank you. It was a bit of a poll with my friends, asking for ideas, and they got a bottle of wine as a prize.
How generous of you.
I know. It's the wine. Well, I shared the wine, obviously. But it's the wine that sort of resonated. And it's been a tough few years with COVID, like everybody, but I love it. It's probably the best thing I've ever done. Yeah.
Excellent. So you have a couple of foreign rescue dogs of your own, don't you? Tell us a little bit about those.
So this is Mila, who's the little collie type dog. She's from Romania, and she's just wonderful. But like lots of foreign rescue dogs, has come with challenges, but has taught me oodles. And then the other one, the Lurcher, he's a Podenco lab cross called Rupert. He was my first insight, and I'm quite glad I started with him because I think I would have struggled even more with Mila, and potentially even the adoption would have failed, which would have absolutely broken my heart. But it didn't, and they have taught me more than well, you know, they just come along and they teach you so much about so much. And
absolutely,
yeah,
and it's not even just
wonderful.
dog stuff, is it? It's
No.
life stuff they teach you about as well. The way they are and their perspective on the world and how they respond to the world, and it is they teach us so much.
Yeah, she really helped me. And just a bigger respect for. I think sometimes when I first started, probably at lots of people, I was probably too busy, and definitely way too helpful. I was trying to do too much, but she's taught me the art of doing less,
slowing down,
calming down and being stiller, and just watching her blossom has been like amazing. And Rupert's got his own little story and journey, but they're
absolutely gorgeous.
They are, yes.
It's gorgeous. So today we are going to chat a little bit about Hoopers, aren't we?
Hoopers.
So you can share with our viewers exactly what Hoopers is, obviously, and why we believe that it is something that can be a great option for a lot of foreign rescue dogs. So tell us a bit about what Hoopers is, Karen.
So Hoopers is literally, you can see the little hoop in the background.
That's what it says.
That's what it says on the tin. So there's Hoopers, which is just going through a series of hoops, and you can make the course as simple or as complex as you want to be. They've also got, I think it's called Parkours is the other bit, which you've got additional equipment, things like barrels, tunnels, and then they go across something like a tango mat, so it's basically a different surface. It made, I can't even tell you the difference it made to my relationship with both of them. And we'll sort of talk about this a little bit more a bit later on, but it's very inclusive. You can do anything from really simple stuff to like really kind of more complex stuff. And it's just a great sport to get into. It gave me a lot of confidence. It gave me a huge amount of skills and just changed my relationship with both dogs for the better, without question. Really did.
It doesn't really matter kind of what your aspirations are, whether you want to just turn up and have a crazy silly time, or whether you want to turn up and actually, you know, really develop either your skills or your dog's skills, or, you know, both together. Like you say, you can make it more complex to suit you and your dog, or you can just make it something crazy fun that we turn up and do, and there's some stuff we play with while we're here. So it's all levels, both of, you know, in terms of what people want, but also in terms of, which is, you know, a really important factor for the foreign rescue dogs, what they're capable of doing, and indeed what they want to do.
Well, yeah, which is really important, because over all of you who has a foreign rescue dog, particularly Romanian dogs, it seems, if they really don't want to, they're not gonna.
I know that. Well, a lot of my clients say the same. You know, members in my coaching group, we sit and we giggle all the time about it. That face that just says, "Why? Why?"
Mila's a definite why dog.
Weird thing.
She gives me sort of what I call a death stare. She just gives me this look, and it's like, oh, okay. Maybe not today then.
No, thanks.
No, thank you very much. So my next slide, I'll just show you. I find it quite difficult to look at. So this is Mila on the left, I think probably when she kind of arrived in the UK as a baby, and it still breaks my heart even now looking at that. So I was her third home, so not including, you know, being found in Romania, being in a shelter, being transported over here, and kind of 2 foster homes in between. So
oh my gosh,
she was, and as you can see, she's super cute, so you can see why people adopted her. And again, probably like lots of people with foreign rescue dogs, you see that little face and you just want to help. And I didn't see that when I adopted her. I saw a different picture. They sent me that across afterwards. But this sort of gives you an idea about what she was like. She's not a wriggler. She's not an effusive dog. She's very self-contained. She definitely goes into herself. You know, it took me a long time to get her trust. and get her kind of, she loves training. She's so clever. She's the cleverest dog I've ever come across.
It's a different kind of clever, isn't it? It's a different kind of smartness to British dogs.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from British dogs.
No.
They're amazing and wonderful.
No, totally.
They're all very smart, but the Romanian dogs, the foreign rescue dogs, it's like a different kind of cleverness. And it is absolutely something that can catch people out.
Oh, without question, it caught me out. I was doing a little bit of agility with Rupert, which I thought he'd be brilliant at it because he can jump a 5-foot fence from a standstill without thinking about it. But he just never really connected with it. He kept, after a couple of jumps, he'd disconnect and go and do other stuff. So I found Hoopers through him. So I took Mila along. It was a very nice, quiet class. There was a small amount of dogs. They were dog-savvy people. So when I said, can you please just ignore her, they did. And we set about our journey. And that one on the right is her.
I love that picture. Just
makes me quite emotional.
Yeah, the energy that comes from that picture is just beautiful.
Yeah, she's actually running, which she finds it quite difficult to unstick. She tends to be a bit, I would need to sit back a bit. So for her to be running, she's starting to move away from me. She's gone through a scary tunnel, which is quite difficult, as you know. And the most important thing, she's enjoying herself, and she feels safe. And she's connecting with me. She's got one eye on me, watching just to see what the next thing is, not looking at the environment to see, where the next...
What she needs to worry about.
Yeah. So I just love that picture.
Yeah.
She's just amazing.
Absolutely.
She's such a nice dog.
Absolutely.
So that's why, and that is the difference that, the difference it made was huge. And and although I put a lot of work in, obviously, outside of it, the Hoopers, because I was enjoying myself, she was enjoying herself, and it just she just lit up, and still does. When she does it, she loves it.
Absolutely perfect. So I mean, that actually leads really nicely into why this activity is I mean, it's good, again, it's good for all dogs, but why it's specifically good for our foreign rescues. And there's quite a lot of reasons, I feel, but obviously one is because it's simple, but again, you can kind of add in, but through layers, you can increase the challenges. It's not challenging right at the beginning. You can kind of build up to whatever level you want. But I think from a confidence building point of view, it's really valuable, isn't it? Because I know you said, obviously, she was timid, she was nervous, she was anxious about moving away from you.
Yeah.
The fun aspect of doing this activity together has increased that confidence, which makes a massive difference to a lot. It's not just about doing the Hoopers, and it's not just about building the confidence. It has an impact on behavior, throughout life, with people, with other dogs, with reactivity, with general anxiety, all of that. It can have a positive impact on, can't it?
Oh, huge. I mean, the little group that I went to were just brilliant with her. They just ignored her. And then one lady was on a mission to befriend her, but not in a kind of lying on the floor trying to touch her. But every week she bought a little bit of chicken and just handed it to her. And then it was several weeks, because Mila likes to ensure that she's not going to get, attacked. It's very important to her. I turned around and she was pretty much on the end of the lead, just sat next to this lady waiting for a bit of chicken, which is huge for Mila. So you meet some great people, but apart from that, she was just allowed to be herself. You can do as little as much as you want. It's super inclusive in that, if there isn't a group near you, or your dog's so reactive that, or you've got so many problems that you couldn't go and do even a small group outside, a lot of the organisations do, do online training now, but also they do online awards. So UK Hoopers, who I did my instructor course with, does some online Hoopers awards, his Star Awards. So all you need is a few hoops. You can make them yourself.
I was going to say, that's the other benefit of it, isn't it? You don't even have to go, because a lot of foreign rescue dogs, would, you know, can struggle even with going to a small class that's outside. But you don't, it's the, you know, the equipment that you use is so simplistic. You can even do it at home, like you say, via online learning. You can enjoy this activity and the developing confidence and bond and relationship that comes with it, even, you know, in the comfort of your own garden and the safe aspect of your own garden without ever having to leave, which I think is really an important aspect of it as well for the, you know, the even more nervous and fearful and anxious dogs. You can start having all this positive impact without even leaving home, which I think is wonderful.
It is, and I know UK Hoopers, I'm sure the others do it as well. When their shows are kind of, you can do really well even if you've got a Velcro dog that wants to run alongside you, as if you've got a super speedy kind of distance dog. And they also have lineups for more nervous dogs, so they don't have to, so they can, you know, not be in a big queue with lots of kind of spinny barky dogs. Obviously that's still not going to be for everybody, and I think Mila would still struggle with that, but I really like that you can still go and compete and actually do really well even if you've got a Velcro dog. You don't need to have be at the standard that you have to stand in the middle and point, for you to actually go and enjoy an experience and have a good time. So I love the fact that it's so inclusive, and any dog, any handler, at any real age, it can have a go at Hoopers.
That actually leads into what I was, the other thing that I really love about this, again, specifically for the foreign dogs, is the fact that it's all on one level, isn't it? It's very low impact. There's no jumping up and, you know, because a lot of the foreign rescue dogs, you know, they do have injuries and you know, physical limitations if they've been abused, if they've had accidents, which, you know, many of them do. They've got joint problems where they've had a poor start in life. So I love that this is low impact, and again, I think that's a big positive for the foreign rescue dogs. We're not going to ask a lot of them physically.
No. And this is kind of, again, it's just her, this confidence, being able to move away from me when I'm her safety, I'm her kind of, and that sort of built up through the Hoopers as well. Instead of, if she was in an environment that she was unsure of, instead of looking at ways to go somewhere safe, she now looks to me as a source of safety, because of building that relationship and that training bond and reassuring her that I am going to, you know, step up to her and look after her. I'm not going to put loads of pressure on her. She can do as much or as little as she wants, and this increased confidence of her. I'm not even running. I used to have to run a lot, which is not good. Really not good. It's not a pretty sight. Whereas now I can literally send around the barrel, and then she's gone down that straight of hoops, and you can see she just, you know, she's just moving away. She's not looking back at me. She's focused forward, and just having a really nice time.
She's in full flow, isn't she?
Yeah. And the confidence that she has kind of brought to it is just, it's just wonderful. They light up when they see the hoops come out. They really do.
You've got a little video of her in action, haven't you? I think.
Oh yes, this is my little Miss Moo. So this is again quite early on. Sorry, that's Mila. I shouldn't call her Muko. That's really rude. So you can see at the beginning she gets a little bit stuck. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then she shouts at me. She's always got an opinion.
Oh yeah, all the Romy dogs have got opinions.
But I like that she feels able to do that, but you can see that's quite early on, because you can see she's a bit sticky. She likes to hear me a bit more, but also it's like, no, you can go, and it's like, all right, okay.
I love that.
Which is her early little training one, and this is, oh, hang on, I've done another one. Let me move it on.
That's a fantastic picture. He's like king, isn't he? He's like king.
Because I've made him sit, and he's like, I really want to go in the tunnel. I don't want to sit here. Do you not know there's things to do? And this is sort of bringing in the fact that it's not just the sort of the quiet, more reserved dogs like Mila. My dogs are like chalk and cheese. Rupert is full on, super fast. He's got the attention span of about a second, if that. And if he's bored, he'll go and find mischief elsewhere, and has and done quite frequently. So it's sort of it's fast enough and exciting enough to kind of engage him. But once you, and he'll do lots of distance work. He's not worried. He'll, just run. But interesting enough to catch his interest, we can do lots of handling work. And again, so he's a lurcher essentially. He came from Spain, 6 months old, and got a really high prey drive. So anyone who's got dogs like that, you'll know they're quite hard to encourage. That I'm quite exciting.
Get that connection
chase
with
the bunnies.
Get that connection with. And this is very much channeling that drive, isn't it? And they love the mental stimulation. With these fast-paced dogs, they want stuff to do. They want to be clever, if you like, because just like us. At the end of the day, it's that satisfaction of nailing something. And I think that can be really valuable. And like you say, you've got two very, very different personalities, but this activity suits them both in different ways. I love that.
And he was really good at agility, but it was also slightly alarming because, like, for example, when the seesaw was like that, he'd jump on the upside and ping off it, much to the horror of my trainer, because obviously that's quite dangerous. In the middle of the catwalk, 6 foot up, he'd suddenly decide to turn around and go the other way. He's so agile. He's such an athlete. And I think he just found it. I don't know what it was about it, but Hoopers, he just completely committed to. I think it's because he can just run and be really speedy, and I think that, thinking about what he is, that's the thing that he really enjoys.
All on the one level,
so he can go super, super fast. So that's my bonkers breed dog. And this is just him.
I love this slide.
A T. So he's just such a comic as well. So he loves that people are kind of laughing at him. So he got a toy for going through the tunnel that got a bit of one of those pause pockets that you put a bit of food in. So he'd get the pause pocket, and then he'd go into the middle of the tunnel and then eat the cheese out in the middle of it, and then leave the tunnel, because obviously you can't possibly fetch, because that's ridiculous, in the middle of the tunnel. So I kept being sent in to get said toy, and the lady, Julie, took a photo, and he just looked so pleased with himself. He did it about 4 times before we had to keep blocking the entrance.
They're not daft. They really are not daft, these dogs. It's just that they are just so clued up to, like,
once he thought was an accident, and the second time
it's almost like a deliberate, do you know what, you go in the damn tunnel.
But the second time was definitely deliberate. Definitely.
I love it.
My loopy dog, love him.
I can totally relate to that as well, because my boy is definitely class clown. He loves it when people are laughing and at him with him. He doesn't care.
Which it does help, because it's funny, and I relax with him, because I've been in previous places, and again, you've got foreign rescues, you'll probably relate to this. You go to classes and try, and you've got a dog that is a bit, he's doing star jobs, doing nothing of any, but then you're kind of asked to leave because they're being disruptive, and people are scowling at you, and why haven't you got that dog under control? And I was so worried and anxious when I found Julie and Stog Dog Training, because they just laughed at him. They thought he was hilarious. And so I relaxed, and again, that helps. So it's finding your people, finding the people that find the joy in your dog, I think is so important.
I also feel sorry.
No, that's right. I was going to say, even when at the Christmas party he jumped the windbreak to go and investigate the buffet table, they found him funny.
I smell food. I think that's a valuable distinction to make as well, because I know I've seen it firsthand, and I've spoken to an awful lot of people about the fact that a lot of these dogs will struggle, even if they're not anxious, even if they're not reactive, even if they're not fearful and all the other, challenges that, many of them come with. Even if they don't have all that going on, they still struggle with your typical training classes because they're so boring. And these dogs do not do boring. They literally, it's like, give me something interesting to do. And once they're switching off, then you just don't have that engagement to do the training. And ultimately, working within this environment, doing the same training, but within this environment, you're more likely to get more from these dogs when they've got something else going on, rather than just standing in a class doing rote behaviors over and over again. And I think
that really dull.
Exactly. And I know a lot of them do. And obviously, when they get bored, especially the youngsters, when they get bored, they're playing up. And then the old dogs, when they get bored, they just zone out, go like, no, I can't be, just can't be asked. So
exactly. Yeah,
I think that's an important distinction to make as well, in terms of, class environments can be beneficial in terms of socialization, engagement, connection, learning, all those things. But I think, a traditional training class, especially in indoor, in a hall and stuff like that, I think a lot of the foreign rescue dogs struggle with, and would much prefer to do, something more active like this.
Some active and fun. I mean, you can see, so outside there are fields. Lots of exciting smells. It's a horse yard because we're using a thingy. He's off lead. I'm in a tunnel. And he's hanging out.
Still there.
He's not. I mean, that gate's open. He could go, quite happily, but it's not because I'm shouting at him, or just he's having a really good time and embarrassing me. So that's additional fun, basically.
Double
anyway. So I just wanted to share this. This is Elle and her very beautiful German Shepherd, Kind, who is a baby. And so it's for, and this is what I love, it's for everybody. She's at home, perfect. Out in an environment, she finds that really difficult. And I know Elle won't be mind me saying, but she has struggled a little bit with her. So she came and had a go at Hoopers. This is, I think, probably a second or third.
Was it reactivity? Was it reactivity she struggled with?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, reactivity, and she likes to bark.
She's a German Shepherd.
There you go. She's gorgeous. But anyway, I'll show you Kind in action. This is how fab Hoopers is.
Oh yes.
Come on.
Only her second or third go. Awesome.
Yeah, distance work, which Kind's really confident. And in lots and lots of different ways. So she quite likes that distance work. She loves that interaction. She loves the fact that she's moving, and the fact that she's connecting with her person, because as we know, German Shepherds like their people.
Absolutely. And I think, again, just watching that video, it just reminds me of the value, especially for the foreign rescue dogs, of it being all on one level. And like you say, they can get that run, that speed going on, but also how easy it is, because obviously I know from all the people that I've worked with and working with, how a lot of these dogs, they are nervous, they are suspicious, they are unsure, and how easy it is to build this up, and to watch that dog just take it on board and go, well, actually I can really do this. There's no moving parts or weird things or poles that are going to fall down and freak out. You imagine a fearful dog coming into that space and being able to just do anything, compared to a more nervous, fearful dog going to an agility space, and they're just like, what the hell is all that, and that's making a noise, and this is moving, and it can all be far too much, can't it? So that's just, watching that just remind me how how much better it will be for those
people. Get so much out of it, like even if they've done to go from them running around a field to being able to do 2 or 3 in a row. It's so exciting. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love it. Love that relationship. It's just amazing. Sorry. And this is my Roo dog.
I love this video.
And this is just, he's just fab. He's just like, I mean, he's just off and out, and then he gets his toy, and he's super happy.
Love it.
Yeah, and it's just, I just hope people give it a go. You can make your own hoops, or you can buy them, but you can make them with some hula hoops. There's loads of YouTube videos online.
I was going to say, I think there are some videos, aren't there, for how to just, you know, make some DIY equipment. But also, I think, you know, you can kind of add your own bits in, can't you, to suit your own dogs and what they like to do or don't like to do as such. And I love that about it, that it's very easily DIY. If
my barrel
need it to be
is a laundry basket.
Yeah, exactly.
That I peg, because the barrels are really expensive. I've now got a blue plastic one that we've got from a horse yard, but initially it was just that. That's all you need. You don't even need that, just something circular.
Yeah, anything. But there are, for those, you know, for those people who do want to obviously have more kind of outside activity or group activity, there are Hoopers classes run kind of all over the country, aren't there?
Yeah, so there's and I'll pop some links if people are interested. There's UK Hoopers, Canine Hoopers UK, and Hoopers World. I'm sure there are others. Those are the three I'm aware of. They're all really good. They're all kind of very well run.
Put the links to those websites. People should be able to go on there and see, you know, where those people are doing classes. And then obviously I know that there are, you know, there are plenty of individual trainers that do run Hoopers classes as well. Obviously people can look for that if they're visiting local trainers' websites.
And they do lots of online stuff as well. I know Canine Hoopers UK and UK Hoopers. There's too many Hoopers UKs. They both do sort of and they do, like, you can online awards, some of them, so you can get your star awards or your bronze or anything you want to. So, and I love that as well. I think that's
really it's nice, isn't it? It's definitely definitely just that sense of we did it.
I love that.
I believe that you are also putting together a little online Hoopers course for us, aren't you?
I have started filming. I've planned it all out. I just need to finish filming it just to get people started and just to get the basics, because once you've got the basic handling, you know, with kind of 3 or 4 hoops, you can do loads. I spent a happy afternoon yesterday with 3 hoops and a barrel with my 2 and wasted an hour and a half just messing around in a field, and it was joyful. So I absolutely encourage anybody to give it a go. It's so much fun.
And I think it'll be really valuable, you know, when you're ready, when you've put all your bits and pieces together. I think there'll be a lot of value for people in terms of seeing, you know, foreign rescue dogs doing the activity. It's very specifically created for you know, foreign rescue dogs. For people who don't want to go to a class, it's going to really help them to know exactly how to set it up at home, and obviously then work through to start teaching it and doing the activities. So I'm really looking forward to that. I will be taking that myself with my 2, and again, you will see, when I do it, you will see the polar opposites of my 2 dogs. The crazy wired border collie, and then there's the tramp dog. So you're going to let me know when that's ready, and we will be promoting it all around, both on your website and mine, so that we can get people involved in that. And I think maybe early next year, perhaps we'll look at doing some kind of little challenge, maybe with some prizes and stuff. I think that would be really cool. Get people on board,
definitely,
and have us all working through it together, and then we'll come up with some prizes for everyone. I think that would be really cool. So watch out for us to keep you updated about that. Wicked. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm super excited. I should be chasing you up, see when it's ready. So we will pop the links. I will pop links to Karen's website in this podcast, and obviously the links to all the Hoopers information and couple of DIY Hoopers equipment videos. If we can find them, we can pop those links as well. All that remains is for me to say thank you so much, Karen, for coming along and chatting to me about this. I'm super excited, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from from other people who watch this, whether they give it a go and how they get on, and hopefully some of them will come and join us when we do this course all together as a group.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
So we get to see everyone, and we get to hear, and we get to watch. I love watching the dogs do this because the fun, the energy.
Oh yeah,
it's just beautiful.
It is. It's amazing. Beautiful. It's an amazing inclusive sport. Even if you do one hoop, the sense of achievement is brilliant. I love it. I really love it.
I can tell. I can tell. Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. I look forward to the course when it goes live, and I'm sure we will be speaking to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you soon. Take care. Bye.